It's been a long day.
So I hear. So write down the business so everyone understands, has some context to this video that you just put out, which you put it out and it seems to raise more questions than answers. So let's just start with who are you and what do you do, Nick?
My name's Nick Catucci. I run my own video production business, and I tell stories primarily for business clients.
Okay. Now, specifically, how did you get involved in this post-election operation in Philadelphia, of all places?
I was contacted by a headhunter probably 2.5 weeks ago to take on a short-term assignment for, I believe, $18 or $20 an hour, working in the Philadelphia Convention Center, and very vague and unclear as to what the job was. I got an idea because I know what time of year it is. There's a major presidential election taking place, but it was kind of vote organizing ballots. So not really counting ballots is not the job title, but organizing voter ballots and information.
So was this a government entity that contacted you? You used the term headhunter, or was it some third party?
Yeah, so there's two people it seemed that were being hired. When you're being channeled into the convention center, there are people working directly for the city of Philadelphia. I think some of them are like employees that work in the Eagles Stadium, employees that work for various other entities within the city are then just randomly pooled into the convention center. I overheard some people talking about this. And then people like me who were with PeopleShare, a third-party organization, bringing people in to do something in the convention center with votes.
Okay, so you get contacted by this third party, PeopleShare, you show up, and walk me through, did you have to become vetted in any fashion? Did they run a background check? Did you get sworn in? Was there any training involved? How did you end up in Philadelphia rummaging through, touching ballots?
I filled out some very basic standard information, stuff that looks like anything you would fill out for starting a new job. I think there were 3 documents in total. Everything was done through email, very quick. And then I entered the convention center approximately a week and 3 days after I was supposed to start. I was supposed to start 2 Sundays ago. And I was supposed to start, they asked me, would you like to work the morning shift from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. or the evening shift from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.? I said, I think I'd like to work the morning shift. I actually never showed up for work. I received emails throughout that time period as though I was attending work like I was just a regular employee. I got 2 emails asking me for my bank account and routing information so that they could pay me for the time I had worked. And then I got another email informing me that my parking was now free. Because of course I've been coming to work every day. No, I had not. I had not been to work once. So they're so unorganized, they're treating me as a regular employee, even though I haven't even showed up.
So, so conceivably you should have been there for 2 weeks already. If you would have took the deal, you're not there. And then what made you decide that here on November 4th, a day after the election?
No, it's cool. People love cats. This is going to YouTube.
What made you come on November 4th to the decision that you suddenly were going to appear for your first time and go to work, so to speak, on these ballots in Philadelphia?
Last night, today is November 4th. Last night, November 4th, November 3rd, election night, my family and I were gathered around the television waiting to see who would be the next president of the United States. And I recall sometime in the evening, Philadelphia was no longer counting votes. And I thought, wow, that's weird. That first raised my concern, and then about 1 p.m., between noon and 1 p.m. today, I decided to go to the convention center since I had free parking there and see what was going on.
So, all right, what exactly did you see and experience? Because we saw the video, we see what appears to be shredded paper, okay? We see several other things, including other people sifting through ballots. To me, they looked unopened. They looked like envelopes. And we've seen that whoever you were talking with didn't quite have the exact answers on the process. Um, did you see anything that you saw as overtly illegal or overtly damaging or a threat to the voting process? What can you give me any specifics?
Well, when I first walked in, I was sent into a security line to have my identification scanned, and then I was sent through a metal detector. I just feel as though none of this was quite up to par for what I would want protecting my presidential ballots, American presidential ballots, from intruders. I did give them my ID. I guess I was on the list, but I think it should have raised some red flags that I had not been to work when I was scheduled to and was just randomly showing up a week and 3 days later. I entered. I was scanned down with a metal detector. There were signs saying no phones, no recording devices, no cameras. There was a sign indicating 4 electronics that you should not have: audio, video, photo, or phone. I'm pretty sure everyone in there has a phone, but there should have been someone to actually stop that if that was something they were serious about. I entered. There was a group of people, I think, that was their first day and second shift. I was supposed to have been there for the first shift a week and 3 days ago. I show up randomly, and I show up at the wrong shift, and they gave me very little instruction on what I was there to do. And then I was told that I would need to be sworn in. I was rushed through and given a vest and told that there was no time to swear me in. And then I was assembled in a large group meeting where the floor manager, it seemed, told us all that we needed to really put our masks on and look like we knew what we were doing, because Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump Jr. could be entering the building at any minute. They said, "You've all been here for weeks, working very hard. You know what you're doing." In fact, I did not, but I was there nonetheless. I was sent over to start alphabetizing ballots. In my opinion, it seemed as though everyone there was alphabetizing ballots. There was machines in the center of the floor that looked like they were to rapidly count votes. In fact, those machines were not being touched. There was no one around them. There was a strip of individuals on the other side of the gate when you entered the floor that were poll watchers. The poll watchers were way too far away to see what was going on. I believe everybody there was simply there to alphabetize ballots and pretend like they were doing something. I believe that Pennsylvania is being held back from declaring who they've chosen as the presidential nominee based on the city of Philadelphia putting people through a maze with no intent on getting anything actually accomplished.
Wow, that's a lot there, Nick. So some people, they're sitting here going, you're speaking of Trump, you're speaking of Giuliani, you might be a Trump supporter with an axe to grind. Okay? Maybe those shreddings were envelopes. Maybe they ran those alphabetized ones against the voter registration, and the ones that didn't match went right in the shredder. And here you come forth with some. What exactly is your accusation? So I don't put words in your mouth.
I would say that they are intentionally taking a long time to do nothing in Philadelphia in the convention center.
What makes you think they're taking a long time to do nothing?
The alphabetization and the lack of knowing what is going on by anyone that I witnessed there. People coming into the building and standing around looking for something to do, but not knowing what they're there even to do. And then shortly before I departed, I heard them saying, okay, sounds like they're going to be giving us all a nice long break. It wasn't a break because people were working tirelessly and needed to take a breather. It was a break because they don't know what's going on there. They have no plans for, finalizing what their process is. I think that they're bringing in probably fraudulence. Fraudulence is very possible in the system they've created because there's no organization. There's no organization, there's no leadership, and obviously anyone can basically walk in off the street and put their hands on ballots.
So you're not actually saying, hey, look, there is fraud because of this, that, and the other. You're saying that, if I understand you, that it's such an disorganized area with no leadership, and you did mention the poll observers being so far away, which we've heard reports of, that you're saying if there's an environment for fraud, here it is for on November 4th, this could be it.
I think that the poll watchers want to see what's going on, and they have the situation set up so that they're very far away. It looks like a lot of work is being done. No work is being done. Ballots are simply being alphabetized, shuffled around, and probably alphabetized again. We have shredded ballots in massive vats hidden behind giant columns and big piles of boxes. Why do the poll workers have to be 100 yards on this side, the barriers have to be here, and the shreddings have to be here? That sounds like an intentional stage, in my opinion. It seems like it's really set up to give this person this vantage point. From my impression and the total unruly disorganization of the entire situation, you have a perfect storm in Philadelphia. They're doing nothing, and they're planning on not being able to accurately calculate the presidential election results. That seems to be the plan. Disorganization and confusion.
So in your time, you never saw one ballot that was opened with a voter's choice and markings on the paper. Is that right?
No. And I think that, that's very telling of the situation. They're just bringing things in and alphabetizing them.
So a day after the election, you didn't see one opened envelope?
No.
Okay. Sitting here wondering, this is a big risk. If you knowingly brought a recording device in there, and you're taking it a step further, and now you're applying context to it. Okay, so there's no, you put your name out there, you're a businessman, you're not a dumb guy. Why expose yourself to potential charges even, and to the public?
It had to be done. I knew that I could possibly get into that building. I was a little surprised. In fact, I was admitted. I was able to go somewhere where the 18 news trucks that were outside were not able to go. I was able to go somewhere that the poll watchers could not go. I feel as though it's necessary to go there for the withstanding honesty of our election system. I think it was necessary to go there because people need to know what's going on there. I had the opportunity to go see it for myself. I was blessed to have the opportunity to capture it in a film and audio way. In this footage, you'll see I comically ask if things need to be alphabetized before they go through the machine to be counted.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
So it's just alphabetization? Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. So what's the situation? The machine can't read it unless it's alphabetized?
I don't know,
Oh, really?
but I think this is all 3017. Yeah.
Cool.
And the manager says she doesn't know. She doesn't know. We don't know why we're doing any of this. Probably just to stall the presidential election.
So we're sitting here as a nation. It's not far away from being midnight and turning into November 5th. And Philadelphia, in the location, the spot you were, is clearly an area of contention. Eric Trump and Rudy Giuliani, they were out in Philadelphia today. They made the statement. They are filing a motion. They are filing a lawsuit. There's probably more to come. There's a lot more to come. The public are sitting here wondering. So if you had the chance to speak directly in the off chance in today's times that the president is viewing this, or at least his counsel, Rudy Giuliani.
Go to Nick, Jersey.
Hello, Mayor Giuliani. How's it going?
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Oh, very good. So I've been trying to get a hold of you. Yesterday, I went to my job for the first time. They hired me 2.5 weeks ago to come do something in the convention center with ballots. And when I showed up yesterday, a week and 3 days after I was supposed to start, it didn't even raise any eyebrows that I hadn't been there for a week and 3 days.
Where was what convention center was it?
Philadelphia.
Oh,
So-
I was down right outside.
Yes, they said you were there.
Said hello.
Yes,
Said hello.
I should have
was
said
there
hello.
protesting.
Yes.
I was there pointing out that one Republican chief inspector was shut out for 21 hours from being able to have any kind of meaningful view or observation of any single ballot. It could have been, a
Yeah.
minute, or it could have been
So
Biden and 100 of them, or
I got to go where the news and you and the police and the people that the poll watchers could not go. And I saw some incredible things. Basically, I think they're just stalling. They're alphabetizing ballots. They're not getting any ballots counted from what I could see. I was there for an hour.
amazing. Your powers of observation have always been terrific.
So I actually was
And I
able.
feel fine.
I was able to capture some footage, and I've submitted it to you. I'd be happy to testify on behalf of the
Well-
great stall that's taking place in Philadelphia.
We will take a look and see what we can find, all right? And see if we
All
can
right.
use you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
right.
All right. Have a great day. God bless.
Thank you.
I went into Philadelphia. I saw this. I've captured it, and there is a big reason for concern. There's a big reason for concern in Philadelphia.
Well, Nick, I think what you're doing is very courageous. I think you're opening yourself up to any number of actions, and I think the public needs to know. I think there's a First Amendment, and I just commend you on no less than your courage.
Thank you very much. I think the Bill of Rights will serve me well.